Oh, there's no proof within me for me to believe God, to verify God is real. How does that come to me then? How am I to believe God?
The reason that you should believe that God exists is because the order and design of the universe points to some type of intelligent mind. Secondly, the fact that you have reason points you to the fact that there's got to be a rational being behind you. Why? Because reason does not come from non-reason. Reason comes from reason. This
Yes, but
does not bring about reason.
we're coming to a point where it's like you're grabbing reason from non-reason. You're trying to rationalize things that we can't possibly understand. Like there's no way we can verify what was before our existence. There's no way we can verify what was before Earth or even before the universe. So
If you mean prove, I agree. If you mean evidence, I disagree. I cannot prove to you that that was made by a watchmaker. But the overwhelming evidence of the intricate order and design of the wristwatch convinces me this was not an accident that came together on the side of the road that I picked up this morning. This is a result of an intelligent mind bringing order out of chaos.
I love this example, but it's also you can understand the watchmaker. You can't understand God creating universe.
No, you're right, I can't. But I can understand that order and design do not come about by chance out of chaos. I do understand that reason does not come from non-reason. Reason comes from reason. I do understand that plant life, animal life, and human life comes from life. No plant life, no human life, no animal life comes from non-life. An atheist is someone who says, oh, no. Life comes from non-life. Reason comes from non-reason.
I have an objection.
Okay, what is it?
Cells come from non-life. Like the basic unit living of life come from non-life. And that's what animals come from. Cells? Like, cells don't just come into being. They come from, like, non-living things.
Like what?
Like, I'm not sure what cells I mean. I mean, quarks. Quarks are atoms, things like that. You say those are non-living, correct?
This is non-life. Inanimate matter. You don't get life coming out of inanimate matter. Do you?
Well, it's sort of the thing where like monkeys and humans, so we both came from a common ancestor, but we diverged, correct?
Okay.
Right?
So what?
So, I mean, non-life and life
No,
could
a
have
monkey's
diverged
a living
from
being.
Sorry?
A monkey is a living animal. So if we come from monkeys, it doesn't change the fact that life comes from life. Now, if you're going to tell me that we come out of a brick, that we come out of this metal here,
No.
I'm going to say,
I'm
wow.
saying we diverged. So, like, monkeys right now, we don't come from them. We come from an ancestor of the monkey.
Okay.
And then we diverge. So, like, same thing could happen with life in this brick. Like, we both are made of the same atoms, and somehow the atoms diverged into some organization of cells, and these didn't, and now they're bricks. Does that make sense? in a
Nope,
way?
doesn't make sense.
Top-down model is there's a creator. He has created these things to operate, right? You're saying there's created things that haven't been created, and they're just working up, supposedly causing all these things to exist. You got to, if you're going to buy into the scientific method, you need to look at effects. Where are the effects? We see the effects when it comes to something that can't come from nothing. You have to have something that designs something else. When you hear a door shut, there's a loud bang. There's got to be a banger behind that door. The effects you have to describe as an atheist, where do these things come from? You can't just say science will figure it out one day, or somehow this just popped into existence and then just started happening.
Sometimes it's easier to just to say, yes, God, but in some ways
Is it though?
I think it is.
According to Occam's razor, that makes way more sense in terms of just this whole place just popping into existence out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So why don't you buy into the simplest explanation, and that is that there's a mind behind it all. What kind of quest are you on?
I think life is about like taking one step at a time, because no one knows really the meaning, and no one can be certain about the meaning. And so, like, what's within? Like, what can you do within your realm of possibility.
So are you going to worship the search your whole life?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm searching, but you guys are here, so I'm talking.
One person came out here and said, oh, you guys have given up. You've just accepted a worldview. You've accepted Jesus Christ. You should be agnostic about everything your entire life. Oh, please, be agnostic about your agnosticism. Please start to recognize that you are the one who've given up. You're taking the easy route, saying, I'm not going to have any convictions. I'm just going to say we have no idea about anything at all. No, you have to take a leap of faith, whether it's to be an atheist, whether it's to be a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist. There's going to be faith involved in all of them. But please take that leap eventually.
I'd say I'm more agnostic. I mean, there's the possibility that there definitely could be, but I haven't found proof or validation, so I wouldn't call myself a Christian.
Think about your experience when it comes to love, when it comes to beauty, when it comes to suffering.
Okay.
Think about all those things, because I like that you're talking about it's beyond logic, and what makes the most sense out of your experience in life. How does something like atheism answer all those questions? It doesn't. All atheism does is tries to poke hole in logic itself, not the experience. Does there need to be an answer? There needs to be a qualified piece of evidence for something that makes sense of your experience of life. So how do you think through your own identity, your personhood? How do you think through your reason, your consciousness, like we've been talking about? Where did that come from? You got to be thinking through these things, because then you're right. Those are beyond logic. That's part of our experience. When you're on your deathbed, you are going to be immensely feeling these things. It's not just going to be logic and thinking through the evidence. You're going to be feeling these things, and you're going to have to figure out, okay, is there a God or not? Because Steve Jobs, when he was on his deathbed, he finally started to understand there probably is a God. Read his autobiography. He started off atheist, kind of dabbled in Buddhism, but he got to the point of saying, you know what? All of my life experience and all of my relationships, I really screwed up with my relationships with my family, actually, Steve Jobs said. And yet I don't think all of my experience and work and relationships, there's no way that all can just end with the click of a mouse. And he said that before he died of cancer.